Horizon Transformers UX, and this is Terraria 2D RPG Pixel Art Perfection, a structure analysis, part 2 I guess. I already did the half of this yesterday, and damn, first of all, UberDanger, this guy is so good, right? This kind of feels close to Seth style. I was a Maxer, but it's more of a Seth style with his jokes and his smooth deliveries. But yeah, it's a great channel overall. I like how he's explaining, he's playing this whole game, sinking in lots of hours and creating this kind of a, you know, a nearly hour-long review. And he's explaining, okay, I don't want to say it just like Seth because people might be triggered. Seth has a real following, and Seth has some great way with words, right? Sometimes, but it's close to Seth, right? And he's explaining this game just extremely well because I like this game already. Everything you can do in this, right? How you can go to basically anywhere you want to go, and there is a thing to it. Like you want to go to sky, fuck it, there's something there like cloud places and things. There's a cloud, you know, lake or something where you can fish in here. Then you can dig down. Oh, look at that, there are caves. Oh, dig more down. You can go to literally hell. There are boss fights everywhere, and these boss fights are something like a, you know, weird, there's horror cartoons, right? Old horror cartoons with this big giant eye, big giant skeletons. But at the same time, this is being an RPG style open world type of game, right? Where you can loot things, you can just find things and scrap them and make them into your own home or something with crafting and things. This is just mixture of so many different things, but it's just incredible. So let's watch it. I don't know, he just talked about the last boss or something. So what the hell is he going to talk about in the last portion? I don't know. Let's see anyway.
Put the conquest to rest whilst biding our time and gathering our strength. The day afterwards, we had a couple people online. We took on the Wall of Flesh once more. And to be honest, the Hell Bridge is really the definitive way to play this boss. I mean, I really don't know why we didn't do this from the beginning. The Wall of Flesh goes from rip and tear to sit and stare.
Oh shit.
Although I'll admit, when we ran out of bridge and Henny was burnt alive, I was a little shaken up, but I know that comes with the territory. You might have to burn a gamer girl or two if you want to get that gamer bread. And the bread you can potentially scavenge from the Wall of Flesh treasure bag is not your standard pure carbs and sodium white rye. Not your malnutritious French baguette. No, we're talking sprouted, whole grain sourdough. These are your chickpea flatbreads, your Ezekiel bread, the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. We're talking absolutely based gamer bread here, folks. In my case, that meant a slow laser rifle, which I didn't use for several hours, seeing as it was slow. Turns out that was just the stats it got, which can be re-rolled, and it's 3 times as powerful as my space gun. You live, you learn, I guess. I also got the Sorcerer's Emblem, which is perfect for a magic wielder, and the Demon Heart, which when consumed grants an extra trinket slot. And with all these things, I'm completely powerless. Because as soon as you beat the Wall of Flesh, the entire world changes as you enter hard mode. In our case, expert hard mode. This is what separates the boys from the men. Our entire world permanently converted and revamped with new challenges and content to explore. We got the Crimson biome rapidly spreading and corrupting our holy lands. And on the flip side, the Hallowed biome, where unicorns and elves will rip out our entrails. New ore, mobs, invasions, crafting stations, new crafting options, new bosses, better bosses, more class specialization, cursed events, new NPCs, and way more items. Furthermore, nearly every aspect of the game has been revamped, adding extensive replayability. But we'll get to that in just a second. First, we do the...
So it's not really replayability, it's like the world continues. Like, you know, things starts to get corrupted, things changes here, there's more crafting ingredients now. It's just like, it's not just like new game plus type of shit where you do things all over again. It's like, first of all, the stage is set in a way like you're living in this world, scavenge, hunt, you know, fish. I guess you can easily change this a bit here and there to make it feel like, okay, this is not really new game plus type of thing. It's like game continues. That's such an interesting thing to do. You know, most developers don't do that. First of all, the hard difficulty, how bosses changes their fighting style, that alone is great. But also adding all these different things.
The most important thing, kill wyverns in the sky until we have enough souls of flight to craft harpy wings. Fucking listen to me. Limited flight, gliding, no more fall damage, an extra trinket slot from the now redundant double jump, Terraria's been rolling ever since house music was called techno. But this is where it starts peaking. We go to the Crimson biome to smash a Crimson altar with the Pwn Hammer. This is the first point where we begin to grow accustomed to the steep incline in difficulty. We're forced to actually learn attack patterns, die to utter nonsense, try to adapt, rinse and repeat.
Funny game where enemies can come through the wall.
Man, that was good timing. That was good timing.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing from funny. It's so funny.
And continue to get eviscerated anyways, because they're too plentiful and they're too powerful. Eventually I managed to break through and smash a Crimson altar, which releases new types of ore in the world. In our case, cobalt, orichalcum, and titanium. These are essential if we are to have any chance at facing the trials and tribulations that lay ahead. So I mine like my life depends on it, which it absolutely does, until I can craft a cobalt drill. Then I scavenge for orichalcum ore, which I'll need for the pickaxe that can farm titanium. And in the midst of mining my own business, the Destroyer awakens. That's a terrible turn of fate. Awful situation to be in. It'll hunt us all down, massacre every single NPC, and spawn kill us for a good 5 minutes. After the Destroyer despawns, we get to breathe for literally 13
Wait a minute, so there's a thing called destroyers who attacks you no matter where you are. You're just supposed to weather the storm. Is that, oh god, this is so good. You're supposed to go, oh shit, I'm in my home, but it doesn't matter because the destroyer is awakened.
seconds before the pirate invasion hits. At this point, you can really start to feel hard mode. It's settling in quite nicely. You know, with some games, you turn up the difficulty, and it's like, alright, I think I can feel the difference. Terraria's not one of those games. From the invasion, I managed to salvage the Keen Pirate Staff. It lets me summon a little pirate who has twice as much DPS as my best weapon. He can't take damage, doesn't despawn, and single-handedly probably tripled my character's effectiveness. And that's what it feels like every time this game's difficulty spikes. The content and pacing thereof is fucking perfect. So I farm serotonin crystals and kill enemies in the...
Is this guy on drug or what? Because I don't know. He might be really good at acting or something, but I think, you know, that he really likes this shit, right? Every time he slams his table like, oh, this is some good shit. And I like that how, you know, hard mode gets harder, but you also get things that makes your even damage harder. See, things gets harder, it's fine, right? If you also get rewarded with something that gives you an edge, that would be more fun. This does that, I guess.
Underground Hallow for Souls of Light. I then go to a bookcase and combine these with a tome to make Crystal Storm. This spell tome is to a magic spec pre-mechanical boss Terraria player what Halo Top low-calorie ice cream is to fat people. It's a well-known fact that much like in the game, people who consume low-calorie ice cream on a daily basis actually lose all their mana, which results in skin complexions and victim mentalities. Although sometimes it's alright to feel sorry for yourself. For example, if you're fighting the mechanical bosses, it's not a mentality. You are the victim. The Eye of Cthulhu is now railed to the bone and jacked as can be. One eye with a laser cannon and another spewing wildfire. Both alternate between these modes and a charging melee attack. And just when you think you have a chance of winning, you acquaint yourself with the Enrage mechanic. Safe to say, we didn't beat it on our first try, but I'm just gonna cut to when we did, cause this video was already way too long. With 15 Souls of Light, I craft the Key of Light, which I chuck in a chest, turning it into a hallowed mimic. We bum rush the bad boy, and with some luck I actually managed to get a Daedalus Stormbow on my first attempt. This item is what led me to ever so slowly move away from being magic spec'd. With my new weapon, I wanted an adequately difficult challenge. When fighting Skeletron Prime, I realized I'd bitten off much more than I could chew. But beggars can't be choosers. I suck it up and engage in the only reasonable course of action. Repress the experience, deny that it's hurting me, and leave this for my future therapist to deal with. Cause truth be told, when you go through an agonizing, traumatic experience, it might be best to act like it never happened, and instead of facing objective reality, reject a repetitive, stagnant life within the confines of normality. I don't know what that means. I don't know if I'm projecting, but I've spent way too long on this fucking video. Next boss.
Oh god, see this something about this skeleton boys, like oh god, there's something. Or obviously all the things he said about repressing, I'm sure that's not real. But I guess kinda see that, like, you know, somebody who has something like OCD or something doesn't know he has OCD will have, you know, less chances developing the OCD. When you realize that you have OCD, you know, your OCDness goes up because now you know and you accepted that you have OCD, right? You have to accept it eventually, otherwise it hurts you in a long time, but still.
Ah, the destroyer. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go through the motions. It can kill you in 1 or 2 hits, shoots lasers out of each segment, which when damaged will detach, leaving you with laser drones chasing you down. On
there's
expert
too
mode, we're
much shit
looking at
happening.
315,000 health, and if we don't beat it within a few minutes, it's daytime and the boss despawns. Now there is some lame way you can cheese pretty much every single boss in the game, but because we are real gamers, we want the challenge. We welcome the suffering. And we embrace the post-traumatic stress disorder. Defeating the mechanical bosses grants us hallowed bars and various tormented souls, which I use to make the pickaxe axe, the necessary item to take it to the next level. I use it to mine chlorophyte ore, and I opt to fully spec into melee with the mask. I then combine hallowed bars and souls of light and might to craft light discs, 5 of them to be exact, because that's how many I can throw out. This weapon is definitely pretty good at dealing damage, but it's unprecedented at making noise. And I would go on to craft much greater weapons, but before we continue, allow me to, in a biased manner...
What you doing there, Billy? Mom, I wanna buy a 7.2 system basically, with 2 massive subwoofers. Why? Because I wanna play Terraria and hear that weapon sound.
blindly praise the game design a bit more, because I think progressing in early hard mode is a clear-cut case of outstanding, non-linear, well-implemented replayability. You can progress in pretty much any aspect of the game, whether we go to the dungeon, the underworld, fishing, building, mining, every aspect of the game can directly contribute to completing Terraria. Even if Josh is an antisocial weirdo who just wants to spend hours fishing by himself, he's still getting us that gamer dough. Barney is, and these are his words, not mine, our gay interior designer, and I intend to speak with reverence when I say I don't always agree with his feng shui. But the mere fact that he didn't give a shit about farming, mining, or most of the bosses, but rather spent 10 hours of his life building a teleporter station in fucking space, meticulously designed for streamlined access to all the key travel points in our world, actually provided us with technological infrastructure that would carry us through the late game. Hai is an absolute metagamer who's played through the game several times, always scheming up some new optimal arena or preparing all the materials we need for the next big boss fight. Or ensure
I like that when everybody has their own places. Everybody does some ridiculous shit that requires way too much effort, but that benefits everyone.
ensuring that he gets the crimson chest. I'm not mad. I'm not angry. And then there's me and Henny, who aimlessly browse the Terraria wiki to see what items we can get next, whilst randomly progressing wherever we happen to go in the world. Now the beautiful thing is that all of these are valid ways of plowing through the game. And just when you thought I was done praising Terraria's game design, I do the unexpected and keep sporadically praising it for the rest of the video. You may have noticed that I'd at this point discovered the dye tab. Not just is there a cosmetic slot for every piece of equipment, you can also acquire various dyes and pretty much customize your character to wherever on the spectrum you may find yourself. The bosses in the game are also a spectrum. On one end, you got the Slime King, very slow. Easy to kill, very slow. Easy attack patterns, simple movement, killed with ease, very slow. Easy to kill, killed with ease. And on the other side of said spectrum, you have Plantera, the hardest fucking boss in the game. If earlier bosses was cause for distress and constitute a need for therapy, then Plantera is the shit you never tell your therapist about. Both because you don't want to be chucked in the loony bin, and because it's an experience that can't be repressed, as it breaks you to the point of ego dissolution within the first minute. By the way, I'm the tank with full turtle armor. That means every boss primarily targets me. That is for a whopping 9 seconds, after which I succumb to fatal disintegration. When I spawn, it's a race to get back down, because if all 4 players are out of aggro range simultaneously, Plantera despawns. I wasn't ready for the gamer turtle. Plantera has this attack where he flies 3 times as fast as the player and one-shots you. When he's not doing that, it's a lethal organic bullet hell. As they say in Danish, statskontrolleret økologisk, but much like heavily upmarked Scandinavian produce. Just because it's natural, nutritious, and organic doesn't mean I want it anywhere near my body.
Alright, this, first of all, this whole boss, I guess this thing's hurt too, and this thing is just literally chasing you. Like, it doesn't have some movement that you have to, predict, like some kind of pattern or something. It literally chases you at higher speed than you can escape, and just makes sharp turns just to chase you. That's way too OP, man. How are you supposed to escape that?
I told me that I should implement the Slime Mount's fast fall to dodge, and the Terraria wiki told me the flamethrower would be an effective weapon. I quickly came to find that I was dealing with a malicious website and a controlled operative, both peddling deception.
Sticky.
Actually was. Oh, we did it!
Defeating Plantera grants me 3 completely shit, useless items, entirely revamps the dungeon for that replayability, and drops the key to the Aztec temple. By the way, the Destroyer was the final boss back when I played, so this is all very new to me, especially the spiky balls. And the spears. I genuinely never saw it coming.
Oh!
As it fucking should be! I didn't play this game for 40 hours so it could hold my hand and we could walk on sunshine. I'm here to conquer and fucking dominate! Unfortunately, when you fight the Golem, you may be the one who gets conquered and dominated. But with wormhole potions that mysteriously disappeared from Henny's chests and friends that can actually dodge, I single-handedly slay the Golem. Once again, Terraria's difficulty spikes, and we're faced with utter military superiority in the form of a UFO invasion that reminded us why we don't face our enemies head-on, but rather behind the lush comfort of easily abusable game mechanics. Admittedly, a cowardly strategy, but after dying 15 times, we felt it appropriate. And even 15 deaths is actually baby talk compared to the Frost Moon.
Yeah, everything's allowed in war. There is no such thing as cowardly, it's a strategy, right? You won, that's the... Hello, UFO attack, fuck it, why not?
Which extensively acquainted us with the ruthless difficulty spike you must face after clearing a boss. The Terraria wiki told me that the Pumpkin Moon would be easier than the Frost Moon, but you have to remember, it's a malicious website with false information. I looked at the data, and the leading theory is that the Pumpkin Moon was likely developed in hell by Satan. It's a gruesome experience. Going through it makes me want to shake everyone's hands. Makes me want to cosplay PewDiePie playing PUBG. It's an absolutely carnal slaughter. I clearly wasn't equipped to deal with the situation, and here's what I did to change that. During the Martian Madness, I scooped up the coolest magic weapon in the game, the laser machine gun, which I trade for the cosmic car keys. After all, a magic gun will do me no good as the tank, but a spaceship just might. I then used 12 hallowed bars to craft Excalibur, 12 stingers and 12 jungle spores to make the blade of grass, Josh's chest to craft Muramasa, 20 hellstone bars to make the fiery greatsword, and 10 crimson bars to make the blood butcherer. I go to a crimson altar and combine the blade of grass, Muramasa, fiery greatsword, and blood butcherer to
I like he's playing this kind of a, somewhat like a montage type of, epic sound music in the background, like somebody's just working to get stronger. I'll fucking make this, I'll make this sword.
make Night's Edge. I then farmed the Solar Eclipse and High's inventory for 2 broken hero swords, which are used to craft respectively the True Excalibur and True Night's Edge. I then go to an Orichalcum Anvil and combine the finest blades of light and darkness to craft the Terra Blade, our long-range melee weapon. But I'm not done. The Titan Glove and Feral Claws make a Power Glove. Combine that with an Avenger emblem and we get the Mechanical Glove, which is forged together with a Magma Stone for the Fire Gauntlet. Any weapon we swing is now on fire, has 10% increased attack speed and damage, plus 80% more knockback. I craft the strongest pre-endgame tank armor in Terraria, the Beetle Shell Set. We also scoop up a paladin shield which absorbs 25% of damage done to players on my team. I skip the Ankh charm cause I'm not gonna farm for 10 hours. And then combine a multitude of items to make the Master Ninja Gear for optimal movement and a 10% dodge chance. Combine the Sun and Moon stones for the Celestial Stone. Defense, life regeneration, crit strike, damage and melee speed. Then I get lucky as shit with the Frozen Turtle Shell. A 1% drop chance from the tortoises in the ice biome. It significantly reduces damage taken when below 50% health. Along with wings, that fills out our 6 equipment slots. And of course,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, every time I play an RPG game like Kingdom of Amalur or anything, RPG style game where you basically craft different type of equipment, special abilities here and there, some gems here and there that you can craft, right? There's some, you know, like only 0.4% chance to craft this kind of a legendary gear every time you craft it. Whenever there's elements like that, I always grind as fuck, right? Every single time to get the best equipment possible, combining million different things, just like how he's doing here. This is the best thing about any RPG game, right? I spend at least half of the game just developing the character, making equipment and shit.
we spend an unfathomable sum of gold to reroll all of them till we get +4 defense. And force our useless wizard/interior designer to be the healer. The final touch is the extremely fast short-range weapon I showed in the intro. With that, I'm finally complete.
There we go.
This is what I spent 40 minutes building up to. This is what I spent 50 hours of my life
He's
to
gonna die,
achieve.
isn't he?
I've been waiting for this my whole life. This is gameplay. Pure, primal gameplay. I'm not just having a good time here. I'm not just getting by. I'm fucking thriving. I'm not...
It's like Looney Tunes shit. I don't know. It was in the Looney Tunes, right? When 2-3 people fight and it's just fight cloud. That everybody just, you can only see hands. This feels like that. This is ridiculous. Look
just
at that.
having a good time here. I'm not just getting by. I'm fucking thriving. When I'm standing still in the middle of a boss, skanking, my brain is in a state of reverse depression. Just pure fucking pleasure. If you did an MRI, you'd find my central nervous system flooded with serotonin and dopamine. Every neuron fired up, and every synapse collapsing in on itself. As it fucking should be! I didn't go into Terraria for a mild kick. I came here for a melee tanking experience that would leave me terrified, traumatized, and entirely fucking brain damaged. And it's at this point that we use the truffle worm to fish, because face tanking bosses we've already defeated to optimize our gear is definitely solid. But fishing with a 666% bait power to summon Duke Fishron is a direct adherence to the meta.
Hello?
Yes, hello, is this my therapist?
What? No, why are you calling me?
Yeah, I would like to schedule an appointment. How does 3 times a week for the next 4 years sound to you?
Please stop calling me, Jonathan. I don't know what I've done to deserve this.
Absolutely, it's a guy called Duke Fishron. You see, he's really put me through it. I haven't felt like myself ever since the Sharknado.
You're making me really uncomfortable. Can you please stop contacting me?
That sounds good. What about Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 4 p.m.?
I'm not joking. I will get a restraining order.
Alright, I'll be in the office tomorrow. Hello? Alright, it's a date. With a successfully booked therapist appointment, I had the final prerequisite to take on the final event and the final boss. But before doing so, I decided to waste my time on something useless. I rinsed our homemade mushroom biome on about 20 separate occasions to have enough glowing mushrooms, which I combined with chlorophyte to make shroomite bars. With 18 of them and 20 souls of flight, I construct the hoverboard, and then immediately feel intense remorse, regret, and disdain scene when I realize I just spent literally hours to make an awful item which maneuvers significantly worse than the wings. I chuck it in the cosmetic slot, shed the victim mentality, and rise to the occasion, cause it's time for the final frontier. We kill some heretics outside the dungeon which summons a lunatic cultist. The wiki informs us that he's considered the penultimate boss of Terraria.
Oh wait a minute, it was muted. So yeah, what I was saying was, didn't he check the wiki? Basically, like he's saying here that is the Hardmode better than the wings or something before he put all the effort into it.
So it should come as no surprise that he was the easiest thing we've ever done in our lives, and none of us even came close to dying. A stark contrast to what came next. 4 celestial pillars manifest in our world, causing the vortex, stardust, nebula, and solar rifts to tear through space-time, leaving us at the mercy of an interdimensional alien invasion. In the words of the then famous, now infamous prophet, Christopher Wistifer, he said, "When in doubt, whip it out." Now you can complete the lunar events the intended way, or you can complete them without dying 30 times. Non-linear game design, it's your fucking choice. 10 out of 10. Slowly but surely, we use bullets to start defending ourselves into a crowd of illegal aliens. For each rift, at least 150 confirmed kills are required to make the pillars vulnerable.
But we're not here to meet the bare minimum. We're here to keep this world in line. We gotta cleanse this place of evil. This is pest control. We gotta remove these animals. This is our home, Coral. We can go back to the way things were. We could have warm water, Coral. We spent years cleansing the corruption, Coral. We gotta keep this place pure. We gotta defend our home.
So anyways, each of the pillars grant us solar, nebula, stardust, and vortex fragments, which can be used to craft various extremely powerful items within each respective class. And since in Terraria, the means of production is owned and controlled by the workers, I had to engage in communal resource distribution and share my solar fragments with Josh, who was also melee. That was a real gamer compromise. I used mine to craft the Solar Eruption, a sword with so much power and so much extension that I'm almost certainly overcompensating for something. But regardless of what it is that I'm lacking, this weapon more than makes up for it. So with a book therapist appointment, banging gamer loot, and an unrelenting force of will, we challenge the god of this world. First, we fought an enormous eyeball with teeth, then a slime with a person suffocating inside of it, then a teleporting brain, then a bee who's really mad, then a crazy cursed skeleton, then a gruesome flesh wall, then 2 metal eyeballs with a laser cannon and a flamethrower, then an insane robotic skeleton with a cannon, a saw, and a spiky head, then a robot worm with rapid-fire lasers, then a flower, then a big orange robot, then a dragon pigfish, and finally, the ultimate challenge. A guy with eyes on his hands, who's genuinely a great ending to the game, an appropriately excruciating final boss for an adequately difficult game, sprinkled with Lovecraftian cosmic horror, and if you read between the lines, just the right amount of vaccination. The Moonlord is nothing to scoff at. His aggro range is the entire world, for he is omnipresent. If he kills your friend near the ocean, he will teleport to where you just spawned and frag the nurse, as per the intended game design. The Moonlord will occasionally—
Wait a minute, what?
Vaccination. The Moonlord is nothing to scoff at. His aggro range is the entire world, for he is omnipresent. If he kills your friend near the ocean, he will teleport to where you just spawned and frag the nurse, as per the intended game design.
Damn,
the Moonlord will occasionally fire a phantasmal death ray that will sweep across the entire screen. The strategy for beating him is to have one person in a spaceship dodge in circles until they're about to die, at which point a magic mirror is used to teleport back to the base.
Come on, mirror. No!
If the main tank exuded a massive blunder and had the mirror in his inventory rather than on a hotkey landing himself a solid minute-long respawn time, it would likely cause his party to wipe, meaning they'd have to—
Did he just explain the fuck up that other guy did? Holy shit, so the whole boss is so OP that his laser rifle literally spans the whole screen. Like, how are you supposed to do that? And obviously it's gonna be touch kill, like as soon as the laser touches you, kill. And I like how, you know, basically like nobody in the developers thought like, okay, we're gonna create this this whole thing, right? Boss fight, basically the boss fight. It's gonna be way too OP, then you know everybody's gonna just die. But they didn't panic about that because they know they created the RPG game with so many different equipment into it, where you can teleport and shit. So they just thought like, okay, if somebody just wanna, you know, fucking dodge this, just teleport, right? And just figure it out, I guess. This is so good.
To restart the 15-minute long boss fight. A clear-cut case of it is what it is. This fight has too many goddamn variables. There's no way you don't fuck this up. And as a result, this ends up being a chaotic infinity war across the entire game world. If whoever had aggro fucked up, there's absolutely no mistaking if you're next. I think it's appropriate to say, alright, now we're in the end game. As we overcome the final boss, I'll provide my final verdict. I don't think it's unreasonable to claim that within its respective genres, Terraria is both experience-wise and on a technical level one of the best games in the world. It just does everything right. From the extensive customization to a super accessible crafting system, to the non-linear progression, to the perfect pacing of content and difficulty. I find it extremely hard to critique the game when it excels across the board. Base building, exploration, combat, sound design, immersion, replayability. These are words that send me into a manic frenzy, and I just might punch myself. I played this game 9 years ago by myself, and I'm so glad that I revisited it with friends after the developers followed through on their vision. I think it's a timeless visual masterpiece, and I'm not biased. This is objective information, in my opinion. So here we are, at the end of the road.
Look at that.
I originally intended to show you the final tier of equipment attainable only by farming Moonlord for hours. I thought it would have been a good little meme if I provided social commentary whilst completely cleansing our world of corruption, making it a utopia of pure pleasure. After which, I intended to use the drill containment unit, which would take a solid 10 hours to farm, to destroy every single block in the world. It would have pissed off my friends and been a neat little way of tying everything together. But instead, I decided to stay true to the structural analysis and provide an accurate reflection of my experience with the game rather than forcing content where there is none. Terraria is extremely fun. One of the most succulent games I've ever played. That is
This thing can destroy anything, all structures. That is just fucked up.
exclusively while you're progressing through the content. But as soon as you kill Moonlord, there's no next step. No new ore to farm and no new area to unlock. It goes from 100 to 0 real quick. I guess you could still build a house, but what's the point? Josh literally has an automated mob farm below his mansion. I'm lame-brained, maybe even impaired, so I can't possibly beat that. Plus the building gets pretty boring and stagnant when you don't have the exploration, bosses and other content to balance it.
Yeah, I'm also like that, right? I mean, once you beat everything and there's nothing more to do. I mean, sure, you could create settlements and build. What's the point of... The game has nothing left, right? I don't put effort after that. But yeah, this was a long thing anyway. Like, you know, this was like a new game plus thing, which is not new game plus, right? It's like a journey still continuing type of thing before the literal last boss comes with the omniscient eye guy. So yeah, the game looks incredible, man.
There's no greater challenge to warrant farming all the Moonlord items. And to be honest, we all completely lost interest in playing on the server once we'd beaten the game. So what happened is that I found an Arabic Nokia type beat, tweeted about it, and then Lo-Fi Lenny sent me his music. Through a series of events I don't legally have to explain, I ended up dropping a homosexual gangster rap, which is, in an unexpected plot twist, my final rating for the game. My name is Ben Lolo, I'm so homo. Suck a big cholo, make that dolo. You could work a 9 to 5, barely wanna stay alive. Every day, rise and grind, wasting all your fucking time. But I don't wanna do it like that. Fuck that, fuck rap. I don't wanna fuck women, I just wanna fuck trap. Suck ass, get a whole load of jizz on my abs. Cause I'm tired of this hate shit, straight shit, bait shit. I don't wanna date bitch shit, so fake, I need a break. I just wanna feel alive and awake. Please God, one day, let me wake up gay. So I can cup the booty shots, pixie cut, bubble butt, suck a dick, no hands, romance in a trance with a trance, no pants. He's got a nice ass, I've got the finance, made 100,000 selling trap porn on OnlyFans.
Yeah, don't stop making games, I guess. Don't be a rapper, it's not gonna work out. This is fun. Oh my god, this video was way too good. And this is one of his latest videos, I guess. You know, and it's also famous one, like 4.5 million fucking views compared to the other videos. I guess he's changing his style. if he's going to do videos like this, I mean, I'm all for it. This was ridiculously good. And yeah, Terraria, everything is just like he said, dopamine thing, right? Everything you do basically fuels you to do something next, right? If you build something, you're building something to basically get an edge, and then you're gonna go farm something just so you can get a certain equipment. Then you're gonna fight a boss because that boss dropped something that you want to fight another boss. It's just fucking ridiculous. I love it. Alright, well, that was Terraria 2D RPG pixel art. Seriously, a 2D pixel RPG game. This was ridiculously good. This combined the RPG game and boss fighting element into one fucking game. Like, there are certain people who just like to, you know, that movie cliche thing where somebody plays the game and they just bash buttons to win. Basically boss fights, right? And somebody added that and whole RPG open world exploration thing into one game, and there you go. This is Terraria. This was really great. There is no Terraria 2. This was from 2011. There was no other game. I guess this took so much effort. They're like, okay, we're gonna take a break now or something. Right, well, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, check the reaction, there's a link in the description, check the cards, everything cards, and yeah, I'll see you next time.